The best way I can explain this is the politics of Jesse Helms revisited. In 1984, when Jesse Helms was 20 points down in the poll, he did two things. He started attacking the LGBT community, anti-gay rights, and he began to attack the black community as a way of creating a wedge in the South. The problem now is their wedge is not working. The Forward Together Moral Monday movement, the civil rights community, the LGBT community, the labor community, the poor working rights community, we are all coming together. This is not a bathroom bill. It is a hate legislation.
Reverend.
And it is right for the federal government to come in and challenge it. Yes, sir.
Reverend, so this started out as a local ordinance, then the state stepped in, told the city that they were wrong, not the federal government stepping in and telling the state that they're wrong. What do you make of that parallel?
What you mean?
Well, I mean, it seems kind of ironic that the state was bigfooting the city, and now the federal government seems to be taking.
In other words, you can't see. They want you to say the federal government is bullying. That's their line. There's always a misdirection. Just like they call this the bathroom bill, and it's not a bathroom bill, or just like they call their voter suppression bill the voter integrity bill. They are good at putting language out there, like they'll say photo ID when it's really not about photo ID. This was a national issue from the beginning, in the sense that either we are a country that believes in equal protection under the law, or we are a country that says a state can violate equal protection under the law if they want to. We've been through that before. It's called states' rights. That's why we had to have the Civil Rights Act of 1964, to protect women, to protect people of all sexes, to protect people based on their national origin, to protect people based on race. But you must understand, when they passed this bill, it is not a bathroom bill. And I beg all of you, particularly national media, to get this right. This was a bill designed to attack the transgender community, to attack those fighting for 15. It says that a state and local municipality, this governor who claims that he's mad because the federal government is bullying, used his power to say to a city or a county, you can't raise your minimum wage. You can't require contractors to pay a living wage and sick leave and medical leave and minority set-asides, because we're going to stop this. This governing legislature has passed more legislation to bully local communities. They also are bullying people in North Carolina by saying you can't even file an employment discrimination case in state court. We've had that right since 1977. This bill takes it away. This is a bad piece of legislation. It's rooted in hate. It's rooted in political manipulation. It is the politics of Jesse Helms revisited. They want you to only talk about it as a bathroom bill.
Reverend, I want to ask
Barber,
you, what were your thoughts when you actually, when you heard this morning that they filed the suit, and you had just mentioned, the state or the governor's office is charging that the DOJ are acting as bullies right now. Right. You alluded just now that it's he in fact.
It's him in fact has been the bully, and that language sounds so reminiscent of the language of the 50s and governors in the South saying the same thing. It sounds so reminiscent of Ronald Reagan when in 1980 he suggested that the Civil Rights Act of 64 and the Voting Rights Act of 65 was attacking the states in the South. It's old language. That's what we're saying. This is not a new playbook. This is the Jesse Helms politics revisited. This is the suggestion. Thank God we have the federal government that says we have a constitution of these United States, and individual states are not allowed to just operate any way they want to.
Remember, they made it. You say it's not a bathroom bill, but DOJ is focusing solely on the bathroom portion.
And
so what's the difference?
You're not missing anything. In fact, they're focusing on that issue. We are releasing a letter today to DOJ asking them to also look into the issue of living wages. There's a lawsuit now in Birmingham, for instance, that's going after a legislature for disallowing a city to raise their minimum wage, because doing that has a racial impact. Because 54% of the people in this country, 54% of African Americans make less than a living wage. And so when you disallow ability of a city or municipality to do that, it has a racial impact. Employment discrimination is a part of Title VII. Part of Title VII in the federal law. So we're releasing a letter this evening to the federal government saying look into all of that. But the immediate piece is to attack the bathroom piece, and this is why it's important. It's the transgender community, but here's the principle. Once you allow any people to be discriminated against, who's next? Once you undermine the principle of the equal protection under the law, which has been on the books since 1868, the 14th Amendment, then you cause a breakage in the entire democracy. So somebody says, I heard the governor say, well, I don't want to compare this to the issue of segregation of bathrooms and black people. And he says it's different. It is different, but that's why black people and the NAACP is so concerned, because we know what it's like to not have equal protection under the law. It took us 250 years of slavery, 100 years of Jim Crow, and we still have not exercised racism and discrimination from our law. So we cannot allow any people to be discriminated against, because who's next? Who's next? And this governor should know better than that, because he put his hand on the Bible and he swore to uphold the North Carolina Constitution, and he swore, based on the North Carolina Constitution, that he would participate in no law that was in what was counter to the federal law and federal protection. And they've done it over and over again. That's why this legislature has had more cases, more laws overturned than any state legislature in recent history, especially in North Carolina. And that's why they're having so many cases in court, because they have almost a disdain for the Constitution. Almost a disdain for the Constitution. And they're using this as a wedge. This is about November. It's about trying to raise its poll number. It's about trying to drive people to the poll, using working people and poor people and transgender people as a wedge issue, and we're not going to allow them to get away with it.
Are they using code language?
I think in some ways it's not even code. Once it was code, but now xenophobia and racism and homophobia has gone mainstream. I mean, you got presidential candidates up talking about, getting rid of the 14th Amendment and turning people away and putting up walls and all kinds of things. And I think that if you read the bill, it's quite explicit. And whatever is code, we are uncoding it.
The governor says there was not
or decoding it.
The governor said there was not enough time to repeal this. Top lawmakers said the same. What are your thoughts on that argument?
This governor, when they took office, I want you to understand, when they took office in 2013, in the first 50 days, in one day, in less than about 30 minutes, they denied 500,000 people Medicaid expansion. The next day, in about 20-some minutes, they denied 900,000 people earned income tax credit. Even Ronald Reagan supported earned income tax credit. They passed the marriage amendment bill back in 2012. Remember when they did it? In the spring, because the fall election was coming, and they did it quick. They are quick at doing wrong, and they want a long time to do right. They, in the middle of the night, in one day, they passed this bill. Don't forget that. To say he needs a week to stand against it, a week to turn it around, they could have a special session. They could have had a special session since the federal government had said to them they had to do this. They could be having a special session right now. They could have come in this morning and said, we're going to follow the Constitution of these United States. But instead, they're going to waste taxpayers' money, and more importantly, they're going to continue to promote hate and fear toward the transgender community, toward working poor people, and towards people who are facing employment discrimination. And you know the irony of it? Part of this bill even most of this bill hurts heterosexuals. The part about working poor people and the part that says on employment discrimination. Because what they've done is they've passed a bill that if somebody were to fire somebody today because of their religious attitude toward the gay community, they could be fired and they wouldn't even have the ability to go into state court and file an employment discrimination case. This is bad law, and bad constitutional attitude.